Good evening, I'm Norman DePoe. You've been watching Prime Minister Lester Pearson as he stood rigidly to attention in Winnipeg last Sunday night while some 1,250 registered delegates to the 20th Biennial Convention of the Royal Canadian Legion and perhaps 700 others sang "O Canada," which Mr. Pearson suggested today would be our national anthem before the end of the current session of Parliament. He also watched as a color party of the Legion paraded past him bearing the red ensign, a flag which less than an hour later he would say no longer served our needs. He was booed and heckled as he did so. This afternoon, it was the other way around, thunderous and prolonged Liberal applause as Mr. Pearson rose to defend his policy on the flag in the Commons. The boos, mostly from the Liberal benches, mind you, were for the opposition leader John Diefenbaker when he charged Mr. Pearson with wanting even greater disunity in Canada than previously. And so, we're joined tonight in one of the most emotion-packed issues of our time, an issue which some people say should not have been brought up at all. But bring it up Prime Minister Pearson did in fulfillment of an election promise he and his party made through 2 campaigns. It's now clear that he personally would favor, as the Canadian flag, a design based on 3 red maple leaves on a blue ground. He's been told that is heraldically incorrect, so he likes a white ground as next best, possibly with blue bars that fly and staff, and possibly would go for a single maple leaf instead. But let's look back at Sunday night when Mr. Pearson put his policy to a largely dissenting audience of Legionnaires.
Members of the Legion are aware of my government's commitments made by our party some years ago to ask Parliament to decide on a distinctive Canadian flag within a certain period of time. In World War I, the flag that flew for Canadian soldiers overseas was the Union Jack. In World War II, in January 1944, the red ensign came officially on the scene. In World War II, the red ensign came officially on the scene, though we sometimes forget. It's all right, Mr. Chairman, this is a veterans meeting. And as Harry Truman once said, if you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen. But we do sometimes forget the flag designated for the 1st Canadian Division, the 1st Canadian Forces overseas, and presented as such to General McNaughton on his departure from Canada for Europe, was one with 3 joint red maple leaves predominant on it. And I believe, as sincerely as some of you may believe in another design, I believe that today a flag designed around the maple leaf will symbolize and be a true reflection of the new Canada. Today there are 5 million or more Canadians whose tradition is not inherited from the British Isles, but who are descendants of the original French founders of our country. There are another 5 million or more who have come to Canada from other faraway lands whose heritage is neither British nor French. I believe that a Canadian flag as distinctive as the maple leaf in the Legion badge will bring them all closer, bring all these Canadians closer to us of British stock and make us all better and more united Canadians. In taking this position, I know there are others, and it's quite clear tonight, there are others who disagree strongly, honestly, and deeply with me. Such an issue is bound to raise strong emotions. Symbols, Symbols have a deep emotional meaning. That is why they help to make a nation great, help to inspire and nourish loyalty, patriotism, and devotion among those who make up the nation. And, well, we have the right in this free country to disagree, thank God. And we also have the right to express our point of view and to have it listened to. And so an emotional reaction is roused when there is any suggestion that old symbols should be adapted to new conditions and new needs. You will recall, I'm sure, the great Legion debate just a few years ago in 1960, I think it was, when you were choosing a new Legion badge. You will remember the arguments put forward in defense of your executive's decision on that new badge. And Mr. Justice Woods then added, and I quote, "When it was pointed out to us that it was improper to mutilate the Union Jack by placing the maple leaf over it, we did not see how we could properly carry this on in the new badge, so we removed the Union Jack and this left the gold maple leaf. We decided to change its color to red. We put a white background so that it would stand out, and this in conjunction with the blue on the Legion scroll." I'm talking about the Legion badge. As in the case of your new badge, so it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thought you were all ladies and gentlemen. This is our honored guest invited here by you. Surely the Royal Canadian Legion has more courtesy and dignity than that. You may do all of this next week if you wish to, but leave it tonight.